Okay, all right. We had between a 90 and 100 play scrimmage. We were indoors today because the weather really didn't bother us a bit. We ran the ball around 60% of the time, threw it about 40% of the time, and just kind of wanted to see both sides. We let everyone play. It was fairly equal reps. It was good for us as coaches, and now we'll be able to go in the film room, first time of a true scrimmage, and so now we can evaluate our guys, and we'll narrow it down, as we go. But I thought our energy level was good. I thought it was a very physical scrimmage, which was very encouraging. A few pre-snap penalties that motion penalties, offside penalties that we got to correct. But when you rotate, everybody on your team in three groups, there's somewhat that to be expected. But overall, really good information for our coaches, to see how we did.
How did Nick look?
He looks more comfortable every practice, and like I said, obviously we're not going live, but his pocket presence, each time out there improves, and I thought he threw the ball well.
Any turnovers today for anybody?
There may have been one.
How about the running backs, the competition there? How's that going?
Yeah, today all three of our guys, got equal reps, rotated with the first and second groups, and the third group, was kind of more by committee.
Who took the most reps at left tackle at the first game?
I think it was probably equal. I mean, we've been doing that. One guy will start out at practice first, the next guy will start out at practice second, but once it gets going, both the guys were pretty much equal. And like we said, we probably won't make a decision. We may not make a decision, even after spring. Both of those guys are veteran guys, and we feel like both of them are that starter type mentality and talent.
We got explosive plays, today. Really explosive plays.
There was a couple passes, a few runs, but like I said, there were some good licks too. Our defense, that there was a couple of really nice hits.
Who was the top receiver today?
I don't know. I really don't. You got to understand from my standpoint, you rotate three groups and you're just trying to administrate to make sure that everything goes right. But
What did you see out of the newcomers, guys like DeKeel and Derek Moncrief, some of those guys?
Those guys have really responded well. They picked up stuff quick. We hit the ground running. And I guess what do we have, 6 practices under our belt. Both guys feel like the scheme. They're picking it up pretty good. They're both confident players.
With the running backs, I think you said that the scrimmage gives you a chance to better see what they can do. What did you see, not just from one, but from all of them today?
Well, they protected the football. That was a good thing. Anytime you get out there and you go scrimmage and you're playing live, you can see protections and all the little things without the ball, that we ask our running backs to do is very, critical.
And on that note, with Corey Grant, just, he's kind of the knock on him is maybe he's not physical enough, but he's looked physical in past games. Is that something? Can he handle a load in between tackles?
He's very physical, and he's one of our stronger guys in the weight room, and he's a veteran guy too. So, he'll definitely be in the mix.
Pace up to snuff today?
It was pretty good. We had the SEC officials and put the ball down, and we were ready to snap it for the most part. But you got to understand too. Once you get into your third group, you go obviously a little bit slower. But I thought the first group, I thought the pace was good, and I thought our defense lined up quick too. That was a big factor too.
On that note, I know last year they experimented with an extra official on the field during your 8-day game. What do you think of that, having 8 officials on the field?
Yeah, I'm open to that if that's what they want to do.
What have you seen out of Jeremy now that he's had a kind of season of practice?
Yeah, Jeremy's a lot like Nick. He's got really good command of the offense, and can really do the checks and everything that we're asking him to do. And Jeremy's had a great attitude. He's approaching every practice trying to get better, and I know Coach Lashley's been pleased with him.
Talk about the play of the receivers and the depth that you feel like you're building good depth there.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the depth, like you said. I think that's the biggest difference. We've got, two to sometimes 3 at each position that at least has a good idea of what's going on, and trying to give those guys all a chance to show what they can do. And you know, that's a good thing moving forward.
Was there one player that kind of stood out to you, impressed you a lot today that maybe you weren't necessarily expecting?
You know, there wasn't really, you know, one player. You know, Rudy Ford is a guy that, you know, had a really good hit, you know, playing defense. He's a new guy playing defense. And that was probably the thing that stood out to me the most. And there's a lot of other good things too. But
His development, what do you see about, what did you guys see in him that translated to playing safety?
he's a football player. I mean, he's a football player, and he was that way in high school. And we recruited him. Got really good instincts, and he's just an all-around football player.
You said you didn't think you're gonna necessarily name a left tackle. Are you still trying to go for like that baseline depth chart that you did last year in this?
You know, we're in a different situation than we were last year. We got more information now, and so we're not as urgent, you know, we pretty much know a lot about the guys returning now. Obviously, when you get in spring, you see the guys that really improved a lot, the guys that may not improved as much, and you just try to get a plan moving forward in fall. And after spring, you know, both coordinators, you know, will do that and have their plan moving forward into fall camp, you know, before the young guys get here.
I know you guys are really stressing reaction time and with the defense communication. How did they react today in that first live situation?
You know, I thought, you know, the first group I thought was really doing a good job with their communication, their alignments, and playing football.
One thing that you don't know as much about how they're gonna be is in your kicking game, kickers. I don't imagine you got a chance to do much kicking today, so how, you know, how's that gonna be next week?
Yeah,
Next Saturday's gonna be really
we you know, we went with some punt return. We did some extra point field goals in the middle of scrimmage, and so you know, it gave us some good information, you know, as far as that goes.
Talk about Trevon Brady, how's he doing as a defensive player so far?
You know, I think they're pretty well happy with him. You know, the thing about Trevon, he's a veteran guy. He's been around a long time, and even though he's playing receiver, you play receiver, you got to understand DB. You play DB, you got to understand receiver, you know, with everything that goes with it. And so, I know knowledge-wise, you know, he's got a lot of experience. It's just a matter of the little technical things that Coach Smith, you know, is asking him to do. He got a lot of reps today, so you know, obviously that's good moving forward.
Guess I know a lot of guys have been kind of rotating at the H-back spot. I mean, has one guy maybe started to stand out there at all during these practices?
No, I mean, I think, you know, there's 4 or 5 of them that Coach Fountain's put in there, and, you know, they all have a good understanding, I think, big picture of what we're asking them to do. And, you know, when you grade scrimmages, that's when, as a coach's standpoint, that's when you find out more about your players than you do just on a normal practice. Because the way that they react in drives, and you know, and the way they react with situations and all that, you gain a lot more information as a coach.
When do you expect Tyler Nero to be back out there?
He was out there today, and he wasn't out there dressed out, but we'll see. That's yet to be determined.
It's a scary situation the day of.
Yeah, I think anytime any coach, I mean, any player, you know, gets hurt, you know, as a coach, you're definitely concerned.
Guys, have you thought about any more position changes this spring, or you're pretty well settled?
You know, I mean, we're not expecting any, but, you know, as you go and you grade your film and you look at, you know, the big key right now is getting our guys better, but you also got to keep in mind next year, the pieces to the puzzle, and you want to try to get your guys as much reps as you can moving forward to prepare for next year, because that's what it's all about. And so, you know, there may be a few more little mixes and matches, but I would say probably for the most part that, you know, we got guys in a position that we want them, you know, to be in.
Speaking of looking toward next year, Coach, any of the young offensive linemen, I know you got 4 returning starters there, but any of the young guys stepped up and showed you something?
You know, I've been fairly impressed with all of them as far as their attitude and their, you know, being coachable and trying to do what Coach Grimes asked them to do. And today they got a lot of reps, and you know, that's good, especially because, like I said, we got a lot of good information on the guys that played for us last year, and those other guys got a great opportunity to get a lot of reps and see who can, you know, be in the mix, at least rotation or depth or something like that.
Guess what happened with Tyler? I mean, it sounds like
I'm not going to give specifics, but you know, he's back out there today, and that's a good thing. And we'll see, you know, moving forward. I'll keep y'all updated as we go about when he gets back on the field.
Was there something that was pre-existing?
And I said, I'm not getting into any kind of details about that.
Gus, how do you feel about the play Gabe and Montrez outside?
Well, you know, both those guys are big athletic guys, and I think, you know, moving forward next year, you play certain teams and all that, you need bigger guys at times. I think it does nothing but help us moving forward, you know, with Coach Garner, with the way he can put guys on the field.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you.